Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to talk a little bit about cyber warfare, which is classified as basically a digital attack that is so serious that is the equivalent to a physical attack on the nations. Ouch. In other words, it's something that it's been going around since basically the invention of the internet. But in recent years, it has become more prominent and makes a lot of statements, to be honest. This is an attack on computer systems that either are for destructive purposes and or disruption, and sometimes can involve the loss of a life or many, as we've seen in attacks in Paris, and even with when protests happen in the United States of America and across different nations when various things happen. Cyber warfare is something that you can't really stop because it is done through the mainstream internet. This is done by hackers across the globe who tend to hack. That's where the word hacker comes from. A hacker is a person that hacks into the database, breaches cybersecurity, and causes conflict. As you may know, we have had cyber attacks on the last president of the United States, Donald Trump, where many different hackers called anonymous have used email accounts, Twitter accounts to expose his dirty laundry. This has also happened with his running, the person that he ran against in the 2014 election, Hillary Clinton. The problem with her, which that everybody started speaking about, was her emails. That is another form of cyber security, cyber warfare. In a sense, cyber warfare is something that targets mainstream media. You may see it in movies and think, oh, this is just a joke. Well, it's not. It's something that happens on a day-to-day basis, especially when things happen like protests. And the people feel like everything is just being looked over and they try to cover up all of the things that are dark. These hackers come in and they call themselves anonymous because they don't want anybody to know their true identity. Sometimes they tend to leak information to the people. The people meaning U.S. citizens. They leak information that you're not supposed to know, and this in turn causes problems for security, the cybersecurity for whether you're in the United States or Algeria, Baghdad, Iraq, Iran, parts of Russia, parts of Europe, Korea. These cybersecurities are then breached in these various nations, and there are cyber attacks on those nations. Recently, in 2021, I want to either December of 2020 or January of 21, which is this year, Russia hacked into the United States banks and treasuries in order to, I guess, get those funds that were owed to them. That is a form of cyber attacks because nobody knows where it's coming from because they use hidden IP addresses so it cannot be traced back to the source. These are attacks that at this point in time you can't really stop unless you stop the full government, not the government, but the full internet, and try to have different blockages and barriers put up through Homeland Security to stop these unknown entities from being able to breach the internet. Something else that should be noted, these cyber attacks the people that do these cyber attacks, they can target small states, small cities, but on a large scale. A good example would be the bombing in Nashville on Christmas of 2020. I'm not sure as of right now if it has been found out how it happened, but they said it could have been a remote bomb in a RV, which is a recreational vehicle. A remote bomb is a remote. They can be miles away, and they push a button, it detonates the bomb, and there you go, it goes off. Harms a lot of people. You may have loss of life, loss of buildings, electricity, water, whatever is in that area. But that's something that all you people that do these things, they have computers, IP addresses, identities, but they hide all of that to protect themselves. With the growth of social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and various other websites like TikTok, cyber attacks have become more mainstream, more on the forefront. Because if you go to Twitter, you type in anonymous, or you type in hashtag cyber attacks, whatever, you're going to pull up what these attacks are or what is going on in the world that you may not know about in the present news. Because present news only shows what's happening in the now. Or you only see what they want you to see on mainstream television. Cyber warfare also changes how we assess our enemies, how we meet their challenges, and how we enact policies that match the growth of the cyber domain. Because this is now the digital era. As we all know, we have had threats from other nations against us, but they stop because it's all physical attacks. Oh, back in 2020, at the beginning of 2020, end of 2019, there was supposed to be a bomb threat from, I think, like Korea towards us, and it stopped. But that's a physical attack, whereas a cyber attack could be, at the time, because we did have Donald Trump as president, we're going to leak all of his bank statements. That is a cyber attack on the president. Or back in 2014, like I've stated, when they had the presidential election, they spoke about Hillary Clinton's emails, but if it was a cyber attack, an anonymous person could have dropped said emails and exposed her, and then there would have been another issue that would have paused or halted the election at that time. These are cyber attacks. It's a different form of traditional warfare, if you didn't catch that already. It's advanced, more intelligent. When you call it a war, it's almost like the Cold War. The Cold War was not a physical war, but a weapons war between us and Russia in the late, I think, 80s or 70s. Don't quote me. But now it went from weapons to cyber, internet. Because, like I said, this is the digital era. Consequences can lead to jail time if that person is found. It can lead to things worse than jail time, depending on that nation's laws. But this is what happens. This is what is going on in our present life that people don't know about, or people do know about and kind of just brush off, turn a blind eye to, or they hide it. Like the incident that happened back in like January of this year, I saw it on CNN. I heard about it for like maybe 2 weeks. After that, disappeared. They went straight back to the presidential inauguration and all of those things. Or during the summer of protest. If I'm not mistaken, that police officer that killed George Floyd, I think his address got leaked. That is from a hacker, an individual hacker that was trying to make a statement in order for something to happen. I hope this information helped you guys learn the consequences of cyber warfare and what exactly cyber warfare is. You guys have a great day.